Well, anyways, this episode was one of my worst episodes. Yes, this is a Teen Titans episode. But this episode was one of my worst episodes of all time. No, not really. I know I've seen this episode, but it was the worst episode back in 2014. Okay, my least. Yeah, I still hate it. I'm gonna put this on my top 10 worst episodes of all time. Maybe I'll put that in the list and find out. And put some honorable mentions, by the way. Like, so these are my opinions of what episode was one of my worst. Maybe I'll make more until the near future, and I find out what's my favorite worst episode. And yes, this is one of the worst ones. Now, breakfast cheese. Okay, let me tell you what's breakfast cheese. Breakfast cheese is one of the worst episodes of all time. It's just a big piece. It was so. I hate this episode. Let me check on the reviews. Hold on a sec. I need to check on the reviews. Seeing if this episode was. Hold on a sec. I need to hear this episode before. Yes, I watched the episode. Quote unquote. I watched this episode. So it was kind of not a really. It's a really anticlimactic episode because I wanted more like beating up fighting. It's much more better for more fighting than basically boring old just making them peace. I don't think that this is kind of obvious, but still, this episode is one of my worst episodes of all time. Just for the sake of it, this episode was one of my worst episodes. Probably on 2014, but really it was one of the worst. Most worst episode I've ever seen. And yes, I actually said this episode is the worst. Let me check on this Ultimate Life Unleashed review. Now, I may talk about this later because mostly this is actually. Oh, let's see. Oh. Are these Ultimate Fan? Oh. Yeah, this episode is not really funny. I give a huge shout out to who unleashed the fanboy for action, and I give a huge shout out to Nico Mock for hating this episode because yes, it's not really an episode. It's really something like peace. Okay, let me get it. Anyways, let's start the review. Now, yes, I totally fucked this episode because mostly some people, and yes, I'm looking at some of the reviews again. I really need to doing the actual thing and let's see this. Fuck yeah. And also, fuck you, Bubble Bluster, for thinking this episode is the greatest episode I've ever seen. It's the worst episode I've ever seen. Okay, Starfire is being a stupidest. No offense to Starfire because. Okay, so let's start. The story starts where the High Five was just doing something and during battle, and yeah, that was one of my favorite scenes in this whole entire episode. And yes, it's the worst. Then they're eating pizza and then going cuckoo and crazy. Yes, I like that scene also. But later that day, it's kind of okay. Hold on a second, I need to go do something. Hold on a second. Fuck it. Say what is the wonder. So yeah, mostly this is getting worse. So yeah, 1. Starfire was ruined stopping Cyborg and Beast Boy. And then they were playing this stupid Puppy Timmy ticket game, and they began trying to be friends. Like later in the Starfire was trying to make sure his skin nails are not having painful, and Robin, yeah, let me tell you, he was going to try to kill that guy, kill that spider, but he got venomous, and his head grows big. Seriously, this episode is kind of the worst episode. So yeah, after that, back at them, and everyone was singing that song. Yeah, anyways, before that it was for peace and relax. Then they go for the call again, and I fucked a spider. I may kill that spider soon. And then that peace song. Let me hear this song. And yes, this reminder that no one ever likes this episode. Some people love it, but still, this episode does not like. I don't like it. So yeah, I may also set this episode on fire. Yes, I may set it and set it back to hell. Because 1 is the worst episode of my all time, and yes, it got a 2 out of 10. Yes, it's mostly the peace song. Because I mostly hate this episode mostly than other people. So before anyone do this, because maybe some reviews. Not much reviews on YouTube, but this episode was kind of the worst. And yes, they also show a montage of everything. And also, this episode was a total fuck up because it was blah 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 kid friendly, blah 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 kid friendly. This episode was my I hate this episode really badly. Also, I gotta go continue. Anyone need me? I'll be trying to kill some of the enemy. I'm gonna kill those guys soon, but well, anyways, this episode was not my greatest episode of all time, so I may actually call it a bad review. So yeah, guys, if you have watched this episode, if you want to watch this episode, do not watch this episode. Seriously, you will not like it. Bye.